tanks, that the tanks heat up to 100 degrees, so they're essentially boiling waste oil unfiltered into the air. That there's no limits in the license to how much emissions that they can put in the air. That there was tests done, and the tests were accepted by the EPA. The results of the testing were based on samples, but the samples that were done were when the oil was at 25 degrees. So if you can imagine how much steam you get off a kettle compared to at 25 degrees, then you get at 100 degrees. The EPA were saying the kettle isn't causing that much steam when you're going there. Of course it wasn't, it's at 25 degrees. So using those samples, even using the 25 degree samples, the emissions would reach 80% of the internationally used emission limits. So the question then becomes, on what basis can the EPA say that the emissions are okay? So from that starting position, by the time we got to broadcast, the EPA had ongoing monitoring of the air quality in the area. That doesn't mean they're monitoring the emissions, it just means they're monitoring the whole of the air quality in the area. It's like me sitting here and spraying a can of Lynx at this woman here. Surely there's something up here. So my attitude now is go in and act amused and aim to get them to tell you what their position is, not to give them what your position is. So you just go in and you've got a soft position, you're open to change, and that is how you should be anyway, but that should be what you project to them too. So you go in, you understand their positions, and then you try in the interview to get them to display what those positions are. So if you fully understand your story, and if you fully understand what underlies their position, you can then get them to display their positions. So you can then ask questions that get underneath what they're telling you in the interview.